So I've got the general form for my box mass form, and what I want to do is I want to introduce it to a project. If I do Control Tab, you see that I can go between windows, and up here I'm actually in a metric project. But you notice that there are no mass families in that project, so I'm going to Control Tab back again until I'm actually in the box mass form that I created. Say load it into a project. It'll show me the files that are open, and I've put a checkbox in the project that I want to load my form into, sample metric project in meters. Right. When I bring this in, this kind of no parking symbol is an indication that the default is to place on a face. So I'm going to change this to place on work plane, and I'll bring this in and I'll put this form at the back of my project site. But I'll place it 2 times. Right. If I look at this in 3D, and I want to look from I just want to be sure that we're looking from the site like this. So I've got my 2 forms in here, and the reason we had created them with instance parameters is that this lets me go in and specify, say, a width of 40 for the one that I've got selected, and maybe a height of 60, and the depth I'll leave it as 20. Then the one on the foreground here can have its own values, so I could say that the width is only 30, the height is only 20, and the depth I'll leave as I'll put to 10, just so you can see that each mass form is being driven separately because they have instance parameters. Now the other thing would be, if I'm placing one of these, I'm going to right click on it and say create similar. The default of place on face gives me this behavior where I can pick a face and place my object on that face, and if I hit the space bar, you see I can actually be turning it 90 degrees as I bring it in. So I could, for example, if I was thinking of this as a single building made up of multiple mass forms, I could actually be combining them by stacking them one on top of another. So that's how to make a form that you use repeatedly in a project. One of the uses is that you can, under the massing in site, for example, I could come down and say that I actually want to put a wall on, and I'm going to place it with the finish face interior on the face of the mass, and I'm going to choose a wall that has a pattern, just so that you can see how I can do this. So I can actually place them on the face of the mass object, and this might be my beginning point for creating a building, but for the moment I'm just going to delete that because I just want you to see one of the uses of mass forms.